Well, hello, and welcome to Stop, Let's Team Up, My Legion Adventure, episode 70. Wow, 70. We are getting down to the last four Adventure Comics issues before we go into the Action Comics era, I like to call it. I don't know it as well, so it'll be interesting. So this week we're going to cover Adventure Comics 377 and 378. So let's get started. Excuse a little more S in my voice. I've got something wrong with one of my plates, and I'm just having to deal with it. It could be like this for a while. All right, Adventure Comics 377, cover dated February 1969. Great Neil Adam, Gaspar Saladino cover. It's a famous one where a little kid's about to fall off a wall. Why he's up there, who knows? And the dad's pleading, and Superboy says, "Relax, Pops. I'll do it after we count this beautiful cash." What put the greed in Superboy's eyes for Heroes for Hire? The story's called Heroes for Hire. It's 23 pages. Part 2 is called The Money Mad Members. Editor, plotter, Mort Weisinger. Plotter, scripter, penciler. Layouts only. Jim Shooter. Penciler, Win Mortimer. Inker, Jack Abel. Letterer, Joe Letteris. Roll call. Dual Damsel, Brainiac 5, Superboy, Princess Projector, Karate Kid, and Chemical King. I never realized how many times Chemical King appeared. He really appeared a lot in this era of action, adventure action, which is cool. Leland Macaulay III, he looks nothing like he will the next time he appears. He looks more like me without a beard, a pudgy, well, not as pudgy, but a bald white dude. All right, the villains are Moldus, some criminals on the planet Modo, Al Graniff and his gang, and then the gang with various criminals. Synopsis? Let's do that real quick. It's not real quick. It's this little super duper. Oh, God, this is a super duper long one here. I found my Illustrated Legion Index. I was very happy. So let's go. Captured by the Legion and the Scion Police, criminal Alk Ranoff tells them that his gang operates from the planet Modo, a world controlled by Modulus, a being who is part of Modo itself. Modo has become a safe haven for criminals of many planets, and because kryptonite and hostages are kept there, the Legion is helpless to interfere. Returning to their headquarters to think things through, they finally announce that the situation seems hopeless and their own welfare is more important. Their meaning soon becomes clear as Superboy answers an alarm to save an air transport ship from crashing into the Indian Ocean, but only after one passenger, millionaire Leland Macaulay III, pays him for doing so. Similarly, Karate Kid saves the irreplaceable rare book collection of the Carey Interplanetary Library after demanding a reward of $5 million. So in the 30th century, that's about 82 cents. An indignant Leland Macaulay contacts the Legion and demands that they make an appearance on Meet the Press program to explain their behavior. On worldwide TV, the heroes explain that they are helpless before the current crime wave and have decided to earn money with their deeds, no matter how the public reacts. In the days that follow, the crime wave increases. The public turns against the Legion. The heroes depart Earth and use a Legion cruiser as their base, while accepting jobs on different worlds. On the planet Nog, Superboy saves a little girl and is paid in Erglocks, an energy made of pure radium. Princess Projector creates an advertising image on the planet Rojan and is paid with its money, living crystals. Karate Kid earns gaseous money by fighting a boxing champ on Mercury. All sorts of weird alien monies are earned by the mercenary legionnaires, and when Brainiac 5 gives the word, they go on a mad spending spree. Meanwhile, the criminals attack the Legion ship and take it to Modo, hoping to acquire its wealth. The Legionnaires escape, and Brainiac 5 has Chemical King use his powers on the stored cash to set in motion a process whereby the aliens' monies react with each other and create a radiation that paralyzes everyone on Modo, including Modulus. The Science Police then go to the planet and make mass arrests. Their scheme successfully completed, the Legionnaires are returned all the money they were paid, with interest. That's a lot for such a, what I thought was a very kind of plot-light story, but it was fun. You know, I've talked about not liking the Win Mortimer art, and I still have issues with it. I think Jack Abel is not helping. I'm not the biggest Jack Abel fan. It looks half done and a little flat. It is the 70s. I will say, when someone uses preparation L, against the Legionnaires and they start tripping. I do like kind of the late 60s, early 70s psychedelic in there. Superboy inhaling the drug. But, it's just a really simple story. There's some nice stuff going on. That this story takes 23 pages really surprises me. But again, it's another one of those the Legion trope where, okay, we're going to become bad guys. Oh, we're going to become capitalistic mercenaries. It's all a trick to catch the bad guy, and it's coming. But it was fun. It was fun. I mean, we're getting to the last of these 23-page stories, and sometimes I thought they were great. I mean, there are ones that I think are great, and there are ones that I think are a little lacking. This one's entertaining, and again, this is an era, and DC hasn't started to adapt yet. I don't think we've got Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams doing Batman and some stuff, and we're also seeing the Legion just not getting, it's fading out. It's going to fade out here. It's going to fade out in action, and it'll come back as a backup in Superboy and eventually become popular, become the lead story, and run pretty well, and then have a really big spike at the end of the original era. But that's to come. So let's move on to 378. It was cover dated March 1969. Another Adam Saladino cover. This one is Watch the Legion Members Die, Last Will and Testament We Bequeath, and it's Superboy inscribing this on a stone tablet while Brainiac 5 and Dual Damsel look on because they're worried about time. The name of the story is 12 Hours to Live. It's a 23-pager. Part 2 is In the Shadows of Death. Again, editor, plotter, Mort Weisinger, plotter, scripter, penciler, Jim Shooter, layouts only, penciler, Win Mortimer, inker, Jack Abel, Joe letterer. Roll call, Dual Damsel, Brainiac 5, Superboy, Princess Projecta, and Karate Kid. There is no villain. Tarek, the Fatal Five are back. We go back to Smallville, so we see John and Jonathan and Martha Kent and Lana Lang. Let's jump to the synopsis. Yeah, let's just jump to the synopsis. There are no real weird notes in this entry in the index. Brainiac 5 celebrates his birthday with 4 of his comrades, Superboy, Dual Damsel, Karate Kid, and Princess Projectra. They toast him with Kono juice, ivory cups. They toast him with Kono juice in ivory cups, and this is the custom on his world. But as he drinks, he notes an unusual bitter taste. Rushing to his lab, he finds that an unknown enemy has laced all their cups with the deadly Ruck-Urga poison, for which there is no known antidote. Even Superboy will be affected, as his cup was laced with added kryptonite. Brainiac 5 announces to the others they now have 12 hours to live, and as they walk away to live out those hours, he dedicates himself to finding a cure in time. Superboy goes back to the 20th century Smallville and walks through town, but finds the memories well up within him too much to bear, so he returns to the 30th century to dedicate himself to performing as many deeds as he is able. Watching the Boy of Steel on the monitor, Dual Damsel wishes she could do as he is doing, and goes to spend her final hours with their parents in their suburban home without telling them of her plight. Karate Kid decides to die in battle. Tapping into the Science Police crime computer, he learns the probable whereabouts of the Fatal Five and uses the experimental Legion warp ship to fly there and attack them. He nearly overcomes the villains until Tarek realizes that he's alone and orders Valdez to blast him. The Gargantuan being does so, ripping a hole in the Five's asteroid base in the process. The Fatal Five escape in a ship after Tarek activates a destruct mechanism which will destroy Karate Kid, who is disappointed to have survived the encounter. As Princess Projecta feels alone without Karate Kid or her parents near her, a Senso theater fails to shake her depression, and she walks to Metro Square Park. There, a young man named Myron Marks notes her glumness and helps her face the impending death calmly and with courage. The 5 doomed Legionnaires gather in their headquarters, where they learn that Brainiac 5 has failed to find a cure. They make a will, bequeathing their possessions to their surviving comrades. After they sign the document, a huge steel tablet, the poison begins to take effect, and they collapse one by one. At the last moment, Brainiac 5 realizes that the miracle machine can save them, and he rushes to it, only to find it is still sealed in a neutron. He, too, sinks into a coma, and as the heroes' lives ebb away, a mysterious figure suddenly appears before the gloating over their desks. Suddenly, he freezes for a time inside the Legion headquarters, has Now, that suddenly freezes for time inside the Legion headquarters is completely stopped. Okay, that was a mumble fumble. So this one I kind of liked. I mean, it's got a lot of emotion to it. You know, I don't think I've ever read this. I know I had this issue because I remember I had this cover, but I like the sentimentality to it. It's not, you know, someone has poisoned them, and you know they split up, and that Superboy, he just can't bear to see Lana and his folks. So he does what Superman would do. He just goes and saves people, and he's going to do it till the end. And I get what Dual Damsel, she just wants to be in her mom with her dad, and she doesn't want to hurt them. Karate Kid, the warrior ethos. Just I'd rather die in battle than face my emotions and be with Projectra. And to go single-handedly against a Fatal Five, man, that is got some kahunas there, Val. And then Princess Projector learning from just some simple guy. It's a really nice setup. It does pay off at 23 pages because I like the sentimentality. I like the little individual chapters they go to. And it ends on a cliffhanger because this is the last two-part story and adventure. Because this finishes in 379 and then 380 is a single story. So I liked it, and I normally would not have broken up a two-parter. As you've noticed before, I've done one issues, but since I only had 4 more adventure comics, I thought I would, and we would have a nice cliffhanger. As for the interior art, because I like the story more, I was less disengaged because of the art. I still think it's not a style for me. I think it is a bad pairing of a penciler and inker. I mean, this is the era of when you had to, you know, they delegated certain chunks of the creation of a book for speed. You know, you had one guy penciling this month and the next guy penciling it the next month, so it's out the month after that or whatever their crazy schedules were. But these are basically pretty fun comics. Shooter still knows the characters. I like that he's using smaller groups, which kind of becomes the norm on and off. I mean, I think that's the joy of Legion. People have asked me who are not fans, go, with so many characters. I said, yeah, but they always kind of break up into small groups for different arcs. So you always get like a rotating cast, which refreshes the stories. And I thought this was a pretty good one. And I'm looking forward to part 2 next week. This is going up on a Saturday, and me and Billy's Defender episode will go up tomorrow. I have had a bad week at work, and I just didn't have time. So I'm recording this very quickly by myself on a Saturday morning, and then I have other things to do. I was supposed to record with Ron this week. I've just not had the bandwidth to do the reading. I'm going to try to do it this weekend and during the week as long as time permits. So Ron will be back on, so I'm excited about that. All right, folks, as always, be safe, be smart, be kind to one another, and read some comics.